type what he had written, and I had a very important job to do. It wasn't proofreading because my father didn't think much of me. My job was to go to the Osmania University post office and post it. And remember, in those days, you didn't have speed post, you didn't have email, you didn't have any of these things. So we had to send the column at least 2 weeks in advance. Okay, so we used to post it on, I think, Friday morning. So when I came home for lunch on Friday, the first question I would be asked is, have you posted it? I say, yes. And then I continued a happy existence as a postman for about 10 years. And then in 1992, my father suffered a stroke. And then he said, okay, I think I'll have to stop writing. I said, why do you want to stop writing? I will write it for you, and you can send it in your name. And he looked at me and he said, okay, start writing. And one of the things, and by then, what had happened was I had joined CIEFL in the Department of Radio and Television, and I was used to writing scripts, dialogue. And one of the first things that I did as soon as I started writing the column was to make sure that you had not just question-answer a setup, but what you had was teaching English through dialogue. So I used to include a lot of people's names, etc. So much so, people used to ask me, is that me you're referring to? And it became quite serious because I remember one of our colleagues wrote to the Hindu and said, you must stop this column because he's writing about us. Okay? Well, as most writers, that's what we do, in the sense that we listen to what people are saying and we change the names and then we say, okay, and we use language. So that was the first thing I did once I started writing the column, and for a year I used to ghostwrite it for my father. And then in 1993, he wrote to the Hindu and said, look, this chap has been helping me, so include his name as well. So till about 1998, both our names used to appear, and in 98, when my father passed away, the Hindu asked me whether I'd like to continue, and I said yes. And it's been a rewarding experience. I've enjoyed writing the column, and I'll talk about that a little later. So, what were some of the problems I had when I began writing? Well, first of all, being a teacher and working in a central government organization, the first problem I had was submitting the column on time. Okay, because we're not really used to that here. Although as part of the radio department, you produce radio programs, make sure they are broadcast, we wait till the last minute to bung in something. But this was going to be published. So my father used to be after me, finish it, finish it, finish it, finish it. So that was something that I had to learn, to complete something 2 weeks before time and send it. So where did the questions for the column come from? Well, that's pretty straightforward. In the old days, people used to write to the Hindu, and they used to write on those postcards or those Indian letters, and the Hindu used to collect all the letters, and at the end of the week, they would put all the letters in a big envelope and send it over. And every week we used to get between 40 to 50 letters, and there was no way that we could answer all those letters. So we chose about 4 or 5 and then dealt with those questions in the next column. The other source for the questions were, was listening to people. You know, when you listen to people, especially those whose English is not advanced, shall we say, you hear a lot of mistakes, and you immediately say, hey, perhaps I can address this in my next column. So much so, what used to happen was when people got to know that I was writing this column, when I was anywhere near them, they would switch to their mother tongue, no longer English. Or if somebody knew me, they would say, hey, this is the guy who writes no your English, so be careful. The third source, movies. All right, I'm a great fan of tennis, so whenever I watch tennis and I listen to the commentary and they use expressions that we generally don't, I used to note it down, look it up, and write about those expressions. For example, I'm a great fan of Federer, so I watch a lot of tennis, and some of the expressions that the commentators use, for example, if a person is overhitting the ball, they say he's overcooking it. And if the person is very focused, they use expressions like he seems to be dialed in. You know, these are expressions that we don't really hear very often here. And so I say, okay, for my advanced readers, these are things that will be interesting.